tax deal expected to be approved in Raleigh today. We'll break down what it means for you and your family. And the fight over Obamacare heats up once again in Washington. We're hearing from both sides of the aisle. Plus, more jurors speak out after the George Zimmerman trial why they're distancing themselves from what another juror has to say. 9 on Your Side Morning Edition continues right now.
This is 9 on Your Side Morning Edition.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andrea Blanford.
And I'm meteorologist Dante Jones.
Yeah, you just showed the live I-9 over Greenville just a few minutes ago, and it looks pretty good out there so far.
Yeah, and it wasn't so good a few hours ago, was it?
No.
We had and I looked at the radar overnight, and it seems like those cluster of storms just centered right over Greenville and Pitt County. Nowhere else. So I didn't get any sleep, so I didn't want anybody else to either. So we're looking at a day where it's mostly clear and quiet and really warm. Now, we do have about a 20 to 30% chance of a thunderstorm, but most of us are dry. We're calling for a high of 94 if you're inland. With the humidity, the heat index could feel like it's 100 degrees. So stay hydrated, be cool. We'll talk more about your weather coming up in about 9 minutes.
All right, thanks, Dante. This morning's top story, lawmakers in Raleigh are poised to vote today to overhaul our state's tax system. Both the House and Senate held a preliminary vote yesterday on House Bill 998. It's called the Tax Simplification and Reduction Act, and lawmakers worked for months hammering it out. It's the first time the General Assembly's made substantial changes to the system in 80 years.
Our tax reform plan is not just a tax cut here and there, but meaningful tax reform, historic tax reform that will spur economic development, create jobs, and put more money into the pockets of hardworking North Carolinians.
But digging into it, 9 on Your Side discovered it's not really an overhaul at all. It basically just moves money from one area to another. Here are some of the highlights of how the plan will affect your family. It replaces the 3-bracket income tax system with a flat rate. It takes away personal exemptions but increases the standard deduction, wipes out deductions on retirement income, and eliminates child tax credit for incomes greater than $40,000. But the plan also cuts the corporate income tax more than 50% over the next 3 years. Governor Pat McCrory says it's a necessary move to attract business to the state.
The politics and policies of the past few years, of the last decade, have not put people in jobs. Our goal among all of us is to get people in jobs and back to work.
But cutting personal and corporate taxes means revenue lost. Analysts say almost $90 million next year and $438 million the year after that. Local governments fear filling that gap means cutting programs and jobs. The plan shows they'll make up the difference with higher sales tax on more services, movies and live entertainment, modular homes, chiropractic supplements, certain newspapers, electricity and piped natural gas. It also repeals the estate tax. It caps the gas tax, ends movie production credits, and gives them to motorsports teams and airlines. While Republicans agree this will bring business and create jobs, Democrats and many analysts say it gives all the breaks to the rich while causing the poor to pay more. Both chambers should hold final votes today. The new structure could become law by the end of the week. While the Moral Monday protests shine the national spotlight on North Carolina each week, the Republican Party counters with an idea of its own. Some 200 people gathered outside the State General Assembly last night for Thankful Tuesday. They were there to thank the GOP-led legislature for pursuing changes on taxes, abortion, government benefits, and other issues. About 24 lawmakers showed up, scattered throughout the crowd. Organizers say they scheduled yesterday's gathering to coincide with the end of the legislative session. They don't plan on making Thankful Tuesday a weekly event. In the nation's capital, Republicans are once again trying to delay the start of President Obama's health care law until 2015. Today, the House will have a vote on the Affordable Care Act, more commonly known as Obamacare. Republicans want to delay the start of the law's employer and individual mandates, which require smaller businesses and Americans to buy insurance or face fines. Democrats say rather than trying to get rid of the law, Republicans should work with them to fix the law's problems.
They've voted to repeal it 40 times. What's happened 40 times? Of course, it's failed.
It's unfair to protect big businesses without giving the same relief to American families and small businesses.
The White House says it's willing to push the employer mandate, but the individual mandate must start as planned in order to make health insurance cheaper for everyone. Attorney General Eric Holder is taking aim at stand your ground laws. The law gained national attention after last year's shooting of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in Sanford, Florida. A jury acquitted George Zimmerman of murder and manslaughter charges Saturday after saying he shot Martin in self-defense. Holder questioned the controversial stand your ground law during a speech at an NAACP convention in Orlando.
Separate and apart from the case that has drawn the nation's attention, it's time to question laws that senselessly expand the concept of self-defense and sow dangerous conflict in our neighborhoods.
Florida is one of 22 states that has a version of the Stand Your Ground law. It allows the use of deadly force anywhere as long as certain conditions are met, including the person being attacked is not engaged in an unlawful activity and reasonably believes his life and safety are in danger. Fugitive U.S. intelligence leaker Edward Snowden has formally applied for temporary asylum in Russia. Meanwhile, according to correspondence published by The Guardian's Glenn Greenwald, former two-term U.S. Senator Gordon Humphrey, a New Hampshire Republican, wrote to Snowden to say he did the right thing in exposing what he calls massive violations of the United States Constitution. Humphrey may be in the minority in Washington showing support to Snowden, but a Quinnipiac University poll released earlier this month found the majority of Americans believe Snowden did the right thing by releasing the documents about the NSA programs to the media. The time is 6:05, coming up after the break on Morning Edition. A landslide wipes out part of the highway and a pair of homes in the western part of our state. It's video you have to see. Plus,
looks good, everybody, right?
what 9 on Your Side's Katie Banks is all suited up for, and some important information regarding the health and safety of your family.
Things look good in the tropics and quiet. We'll talk about how it looks a little closer to home when you join us after the break. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Hope you're up. Hope you're at it. Hope you're cooking that breakfast. Maybe you're running around. We always say running around the house like a chicken with your head cut off because you're running late and, you know, you get up, you're trying to eke in that sleep and it just doesn't. It's a beautiful morning. Let's just change gears, right? You know, we all know how the morning routine goes. Beautiful morning over Jacksonville right now. Traffic streaming there. People already headed into work. It's a nice partly cloudy morning and quiet for you. Heat index, we're talking 101 degrees today, where air temperatures are going to be in the mid-90s and the humidity high. So that coupled that. Heat index. Heat and humidity with us all week thanks to a ridge of high pressure that's centered over the eastern part of the nation. And then we'll deal with a slight chance. We always deal with a slight chance of a thunderstorm here, right, in eastern North Carolina. All right, tropics looking quiet, not bad at all. There's also a ridge of high pressure off in the Atlantic as well. You can see that clockwise spin in the atmosphere. Here's that ridge of high pressure that we're dealing with here, just making its way ever so slowly into Indiana. And then short wave, a little disturbance in the atmosphere that rode down the coast here, gave us some showers and storms overnight last night. Pretty rocky night last night. You were probably awakened in the middle of the night. And here's precision forecast, and we'll time out our precipitation chances. Here we are at noon, and we see just a bit of a shower or so, and so we have about a 20% chance at noon of seeing a shower, and then a 30% chance in the afternoon. We see a little bit of more showers trying to peek in here, and it's one of those type of days really where the clouds get kind of full, you get moisture, they drop that moisture, and then we might see a thunderstorm or so as it pops off. All right, warm conditions still with us. We got those clockwise spin of winds here, very warm over the next few days. We're talking about really through the weekend as well, with highs in the 90s. Well, it is summertime, we are in the south, so we expect that. And so we're talking 94 today, chance of a shower or a thunderstorm as well. You just saw that on precision forecast. Heat index making it feel really uncomfortable. That's also going to be the same thing tomorrow. And then we're talking 90s up and through Sunday, and we're mostly dry. And then that next chance of showers and storms come in on Sunday with an approaching frontal boundary. And then that cools us off just a little bit as it's a cool front. So we're not going to go down too much.
But we could certainly use that, couldn't we?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, it looks great, Dante. Thank you. After weeks of above average rain, all that water can cause a big problem with your home and ultimately your health. 9 on Your Side's Katie Banks went on a hunt to learn more about mold.
Warm, damp, humid conditions provide the perfect breeding ground for mold.
If you have a musty odor, chances are there's something going on with regard to possible mold growth or water damage.
But when Eric Ambrose of CareMaster, a disaster restoration and indoor air quality company in Greenville, inspects a house for mold, he goes beyond just a smell.
That filter should be changed out about every 30 to 90 days.
From air filters to floor vents to showers, dishwashers, and even your laundry room, we leave no surface untouched as we look for water leaks, which explains how I ended up wearing this suit. Looks good, everybody, right? Ambrose says heavy rains can lead to standing water in your yard that can seep into your home's crawl space.
Oh my gosh.
That's where we headed next.
So we're under the house right now, and our expert says here's what to look for. If you see some insulation that's highly saturated like this, you'll see it hanging down. That means that there's probably been some water in it for some time, and it's likely that there's mold nearby.
You can literally wring the water out of it. See that?
And spotted on the nearby joists.
You see this stuff here? This brown substance is coming off the surface. That's what we're here for.
Left untreated, mold like this can multiply and compromise your indoor air quality, triggering allergic reactions, asthma, and respiratory infections. Bottom line,
if you find mold or you suspect that you have a problem, have it checked out.
That was Katie Banks reporting. To prevent mold in your house, Ambrose says keep it well ventilated, control humidity levels, clean regularly, and fix any leaks in the roof, walls, or plumbing. If you suspect mold and want an expert like him to check it out, inspections like the one you just saw will cost you between $125 to $250. Temperatures are rising and the air conditioners are working overtime. It's the busy season for repair companies, but there's something else. The price of keeping your home cool is also going up. Right now, most systems use two types of coolant, 410A and R22, but the Environmental Protection Agency is ending production of R22 within the next 7 years, and many systems still use it. So that's keeping demand high while prices continue to rise.
Yeah, 300 to 400% from what I've been in the industry 25 years. I can remember when we bought it, it was like buying bottled water.
AC specialists say some people are charging $130 to $140 a pound for R22 coolant. Multiply that by 5 to 10 pounds, which is usually what you need, and you're looking at $1,000 in coolant alone. A community in the east is taking its waste disposal into its own hands. For the last 7 years, people living in Greenville's Candlewick Estates say septic tank failures have been a problem. So in 2009, they came together, went to the county, and established themselves as a sanitary district. Under this designation, they operate like a small town and make decisions about community issues on their own. One of those issues moving from individual septic tanks to a subdivision-wide sewer system.
If we really get moving, then we can start applying for, any type grants that any city or small town can get.
District Chair Earl Wade says they're asking the U.S. Department of Agriculture for a loan to help get the sewer system up and running. If they get the loan, Wade hopes the sewer system will be completed in the next few years. The time is 6:15. Coming up after the break on Morning Edition. What in the world is this guy doing horsing around with a shark? We'll tell you. Plus, can you spot the error with this Panthers t-shirt? Well, here's a hint. Someone at Nike needs a lesson in geography.
You're watching 9 on Your Side Morning Edition with Andrea Blanford and meteorologist Dante Jones.
Welcome back and good morning, everyone. The time is 6:18. All our rain is to blame for a mudslide in the mountains of our state. Check out this video here. A huge section of Highway 194 in Avery County collapsed Monday night. A 100-foot section gave way, leaving guardrails floating in midair. It isn't just a headache for drivers. The mountain of mud headed straight for two mobile homes down below. Bobby and Heather Bailey and their daughter were home when they heard the rumbling.
It just sounded like a transfer truck rolling off the hill.
Was the ground shaking?
Yeah.
The trailer was shaking?
Yeah. The slide destroyed both mobile homes, but not before everyone got out safely. DOT crews are now evaluating the damage to figure out what crews need to do to repair the highway. A lot of work ahead for these folks. I mean, there's just no warning for stuff like this, you know? I'm just glad that they felt it and decided to get out.
Right, right. You know, it just makes you think that no matter where you are across the country, Mother Nature can always play a part in our lives. And we just have to be careful and stay tuned to your local meteorologists, if not the national meteorologists and weather service as well, and be really aware of the weather conditions around you. And that's what we're here for, to sort of serve you and to help you along and pass along the word as we see it. All right, what I'd like to pass along to you right now is a beautiful, beautiful morning here at Atlantic Beach. There was a jogger on the beach there, but I guess he's jogged on down the coast there. But it's a mostly cloudy morning. Now, that'll clear off throughout the course of the day today, but you see maybe a few peaks of sunshine and blue sky there. Temperatures right now across the east are nice and mild this morning. 75 in Charleston, 72 where we are. A little closer to home and focusing on eastern North Carolina. We're at 75 at Havelock, 72 in Greenville, then Ahoskie you're at 72, and Manio 77, Goldsboro 73. Visibilities could use some help here. Wilson and Ahoskie and Greenville and Edenton in particular. This section here, be careful if you're driving to work here this morning. Everywhere else looks to be a-okay. If you're headed out to the beach, it's going to be a nice warm and sunny day out there today, so that's good news. Boating, the same thing, should eke out a great day for boating. We're really hot today in the mid-90s. Tonight we're mild in the lower to mid-70s, and then tomorrow we'll play it all again where the heat and humidity is back, mid-90s. The humidity will make it feel like it's nearly 100, and then the next 3 days are also very, very warm. Andrea?
Indeed. All right, thanks, Dante. The American League will have home field advantage in the World Series. The AL beat the National League 3-0 last night in Major League Baseball's 83rd All-Star Game. New York Yankees closer Mariano Rivera made his final appearance in an All-Star game to a standing ovation. Emotional moment there. Rivera pitched a 1-2-3 8th inning and was named the All-Star Game MVP, becoming the first relief pitcher to win that award. Nike is pulling some Carolina Panthers gear from shelves after an embarrassing geographical error. Just look at this here. This t-shirt has the Panthers logo with the letters NC, but with the wrong Carolina, South Carolina. The Panthers have played all their home games in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the exception of their inaugural season in 1995 when the team played in Clemson, South Carolina. The time is 6:21. Still to come on Morning Edition. Find out why this guy is dragging a shark to shore before playing with it and then letting it go. This is some video you have to see.
You're watching 9 on Your Side Morning Edition with Andrea Blanford and meteorologist Dante Jones.
Welcome back. Looks like we're in store for some sunny skies again.
So if you want to hit the pool, today's a good day for it. If you live closer to the coast and you just want to head out to the beach, fantastic day to do that as well. Just be around some water, really, because it's going to be mid-90s if you're inland, and if you're by the coast, we're talking upper 80s. And couple that with the humidity, we're talking the heat index of triple digits.
Ooh, it's going to be hard to breathe. Find a way to hydrate. It's a true story of man versus beast. A Nantucket man's fishing trip quickly changes from angling to shark wrangling. Elliot Siddall was surf casting when he managed to reel in a 7-foot shark, wrestle with it a bit, then set it free.
It's a brown or sandbar shark that took him about 45 minutes to get to shore. Siddall is from Florida and says he loves shark fishing, but he says he doesn't hurt the animal. So after a few pictures and a couple of minutes on shore, then he lets him go.
That's nice. I'm glad he doesn't hurt the animal. I would be worried about the animal hurting me. Oh my gosh,
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Shark. Bartending isn't just about pouring drinks. For these guys, it's also about doing it with style.
And Monday night, they faced off to see which bartender had the most flair. If you watch Office Space, you'll get that reference. Check this out. These guys are pretty good. It's all about, it's all a part of a contest at a San Antonio bar. People from as far as Argentina and Austria came to show off their skills.
First competition, everybody's like, you're gonna drop. If I do, I mean, hey, it's my first competition, I'll learn from it.
It's kind of like two passions at once, you know, like it's great to be on stage and do something that, you know, you love, and you're able to entertain people, and at the same time, I get a chance to, you know, see the world.
Oh, wow, they're on the elbow, too. The competition's organizer says 20 people competed in this year's event. That's talent.
I would be afraid to break one of those bottles and then have to pay for them.
Me too. Scary. Here's a look at what's coming up next on Morning Edition. A future cover for Rolling Stone magazine is stirring up some controversy. what the magazine is saying about one of the accused Boston Marathon bombers. Plus.
I'm Tara Mergener in Washington. The House gets set to vote on delaying key parts of the Affordable Care Act. The story coming up.